Hey guys, thank you so much for joining me for today's at-home full body Pilates workout. Today is a resistance band routine. We're going to be sculpting, strengthening, and toning all the major muscle groups using a long resistance band and an optional booty band. So the long flat resistance band is medium resistance, as is the booty band. As I said, the booty band for the lower body work is optional, so if you don't have one, you can do it weightless. If you don't have a resistance band, you can do the exercises using a small set of hand weights or no weight at all, just moving with your body's own resistance. So with all of that in mind, we're gonna go right into our warm-up. This workout does include a warm-up and a cool down, so you're gonna feel really well prepared for the workout and well stretched after completing it. So let's get ready to move. I'm gonna place these bands off to the side, and we're going to start off with a nice wide stance on the mat. We're going to lengthen up through the crown of the head. Shoulders are down away from the ears. The chest is open. The core is engaged and the chin is parallel with the floor. Gaze is straight ahead. We're going to start with some arm circles. So we're going to lift our arms up and circle them down and back. Lifting up and circling down and back. Now we're going to go forward and backward. Good. Lengthening through the fingers. Forward, circling, and reaching back. Nice work. Circling forward, mobilizing the shoulders, lengthening through the fingers as you open through the chest and circle back. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth as you circle back. Inhaling. And as you exhale, I want you to contract your belly button in towards your spine. Good. Feels really nice to mobilize those shoulders, lubricate the joints. Good for 3 and 2. Give it energy as you pull those shoulders down and back. And last 1. Nicely done. Now from here, we're going to open the arms nice and wide. We're going to bring one hand to the other, open, bring the opposite hand toward the palm. So rotating around the thoracic spine as you twist from side to side. Inhaling and exhaling. Keeping those shoulders down away from the ears, keeping the neck nice and long. Widening and rotating. Good. Tightening the core as you do so. Try to engage as you twist, breathing the air out of the lungs and contracting belly button to spine. Let's go 3 and 2 and final 1. Amazing work. Now from here, we're going to bring the arms overhead. Deep inhale, and as we exhale, we're going to pull the elbows down. So we're doing a movement that we're going to be doing with the band. So it's a great idea to practice some of these moves in the warm-up to really switch on and mobilize the muscles that we're going to be working with resistance. So lengthen and then pull those elbows down. So be careful not to arch as you pull back. You want to keep that spine nice and tall. Really drawing the elbows down with energy. Let's go 4 and 3. Contract those upper back muscles for 2 and final 1. Now I'd like you to reach up, hinge from the hips, gentle bend in the knees, touch the floor or reach down toward it. Bend the knees and lift. Repeat. Forward and lift. Forward and bend the knees and lift. Good. So coming into a flat back, bending the knees and reaching for the ceiling. Good work. Let's go 3. Standing up nice and tall between each repetition for 2. Breathing out and tightening the core. Amazing work. Now from here, we're going to go into some squats. So we're going to take the feet so they're about hip distance or shoulder distance apart. We're going to lower into that squat and push up through the heels. Inhale to lower, exhale to lift. Inhale and drive up through the heels. Lower and lift. Good. Mobilizing those hips, knees, and ankles. Inhale to lower. As we exhale, we drive up through the heels and we tighten the core. Good. Squeeze the glutes to lift. Let's go 5 and 4. Nice flat back for 3, 2, and final 1. Nicely done. Now we're going to move into some hip circles. So we're going to send the hips out to the side and circle them to the other side, down and around, pushing those hips forward and sending your bum out behind you. Good. Last one in this direction. Pause and switch directions, bending into those knees as much as you need to, really loosening up in the hip area. Again, continuing to lubricate those joints, preparing for exercise. Good. Let's do one more rotation. Amazing work. Okay, from here, we're going to take a hold of our long, flat resistance band. And from here, we're just going to use the band to really mobilize the shoulders and the side body, stretching and lengthening. So we're gonna lift the arms up nice and high, and then we're just gonna fold over to the right, bringing the right ear down toward the right shoulder, and then lift up. Inhale, and exhale, fold over to the left, feeling the stretch running through the side body, and then pull your belly toward your spine as you restack the vertebrae. Good. Coming over to the side. Good. And lengthening, stretching, and restacking the spine as we tighten the core to lift back up. Use your obliques, use your core strength to bring your body back to an upright position. Let's go 2. Restacking the spine. Nice long neck. And last 1, amazing work. Now, this might look a little bit crazy, but I want you to give it a try. You can either just bring your arms up and stretch through the shoulders by pulling the arms back as far as they feel comfortable doing so, or you're gonna come all the way around and all the way back. Again, really mobilizing those shoulders. Good. Take a nice wide grip on the band. Your flexibility here might surprise you. Good. Let's go 2. And final 1. And bring it back down. Great. Let's move into some upper body strengthening moves here. So I'm going to take my grip nice and wide on the band. If at any point you want more resistance, more challenge, take your hands a bit closer together. So the wider your hands are, the less resistance, the closer, the more resistance. I'm gonna stand with my feet about shoulder distance apart. If you're holding on to weights here, you're gonna be holding them in the same way, palms facing down. We want our arms at shoulder height, neck is really nice and long here, arms are straight. So we're gonna pull the band apart, keeping the arms straight, and then bring those arms back to the starting position. Pull apart and back to the starting position. Good. Inhale to center. Exhale, pull the band apart. So notice I'm not bending in the elbows. I'm keeping those arms straight. Good. I'm tightening the core as I pull the arms apart. We're working that shoulder strength, working that arm strength. Make sure that your band isn't slack here. You want it nice and tight so that you're feeling that resistance on the way apart as well as in the way back to your starting position. Good. Tighten the core as you pull that band apart. Keep that neck long, keep those shoulders down away from the ears. You should already feel the burn. I definitely can. Good. And last 2. And final 1. Amazing. Lower down. Okay, similar movement. We're going to take the arms out at shoulder height, but now we're gonna pull the band apart on a diagonal. So we're going to take the right fist up, pull the left fist down, again, keeping those arms straight, bringing the band back to center, and then pulling the right fist down, lifting the left fist. So you're creating a diagonal line with that band from side to side, keeping those arms straight, recentering, and then repeating in the opposite direction. Good. Really strong, stable arms here. Tight core. Be sure that your spine is nice and tall. You're not leaning back. Good. I know these are tough. Working into those shoulders, working into those upper arms. Let's go 3 and 2. Amazing control. Last 1. Fabulous work. Okay, now we're going to go into some pull downs. We did this exercise without the band in our warm-up. So I'd like you to take the band overhead, a little bit wider than shoulder distance apart. Again, you want it nice and tight. We're going to pull the band down across the shoulder blades and then lift up. Pull the band down and lift up. So as you pull the band down, you're pulling your fists apart and you're contracting your upper back muscles. Now for this one, we want to make sure that we're not arching as we pull back. Remember, we're pulling down, lengthening up through the crown of the head, keeping that spine nice and tall and lengthened the entire time. Good. Let's go 4. Pull it apart. Give it a lot of energy. For 3 and 2. Pull it apart a little further. Really contract those upper back muscles. And last 1. Nicely done. Now I'm going to stand on my band, holding the band in the right hand. We're going to go into some bicep curls. I'm going to step my feet together and splay my toes out so I'm in first position. If that's uncomfortable for you, I want you to take your feet a little bit wider, possibly hip distance apart. I really want to use this position to remind myself to sort of zip up through the midline of the body, so really tighten the core, drawing both sides of the rectus abdominis together and maintaining that really nice tall posture as I work the upper body muscles. So I'm going to place one hand on my hip, and then my right hand, I'm just going to loop the band around a couple times for resistance. You might need to play around with how tight you want it for the level of challenge you're looking for. Make sure it's not too slack. We want our shoulders perfectly level here. Elbow is tucked in toward the side of the body. Thumb is facing up, and we're going to bring that right fist toward the right shoulder. Bring it up and slowly resist it down. You'll feel it if you need to loop that band around your fist one more time or a couple more times. Good. Now try not to break your wrist here. So you don't want to bend from the wrist. Try to keep that wrist in line with your forearm as you bring that thumb up and lower it down. Let's go 10 more. 10. And lower. Keep that upper arm locked in toward the side of the body. Good work. Let's go 7. Keep those shoulders nice and level, neck nice and long, core engaged. For 5, lower with resistance. 4, keep those biceps switched on. 3 and 2 and final 1. Nice work. Now again, you might need to adjust your resistance. I just gave myself a little bit more slack. Now I'm widening the palm, long fingers. We're going to do some lateral extensions. So we're bringing the arm out to the side, palm facing forward, and resisting the elbow back in toward the side of the body. Lengthen and resist it back in. Lengthen to the side and resist it in. Good. Inhale and exhale. Let's go 10. Good. 9. Resist it in. Keep those shoulders level. Find that center. Don't let yourself lean to one side. Good. For 4, resist it in. 3, and 2, and final 1. We're gonna come out and hold. Hold it here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slowly bring it in. Nice work. Okay, we're going to come over to the other side now, stepping onto the band in a first position with the heels together, feet splayed out. We're going to wrap that resistance band around the fist, locking the upper arm in toward the side of the body, finding that length through the spine and bringing that fist up toward that shoulder. Good. Resist it on the way up as well as on the way down. Good work. Let's go. 10. Tighten the core as you breathe out. 9, 8, you're doing so well. 7, moving with good form and resistance. Let's go. 5. Last 2, resist it down. Final 1, and lower down. Amazing. Now, long fingers, palm is open. We're gonna lengthen to the side and resist it in. Lengthen to the side, resist it in. Good. Keeping those shoulders level. Keeping that core engaged. Let's go. 8, resist it in. 7, 6, 5, belly to spine. For 4, 3, 2, and 1. We're gonna come all the way out and hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slowly bring it back in. Amazing. Now we're going to go into some tricep work. So I'm going to stand with my feet about hip distance apart. I'm going to take the band in my right fist and I'm going to hold the band in the small of my back with my left fist. I want it nice and tight, and then I'm going to make sure that upper arm is straight up and down. I'm not going to let it come out to the side or come forward. Straight up and down, nice and stationary, and then I'm going to push my fist up toward the ceiling, hinging from the elbow, lowering down. Push the fist up and lower down. Good. Push it up and slowly lower down. So again, that resistance on the way up as well as on the way down is what's going to really help you work those triceps. Good. I'll show you what it looks like from the side. Let's go. 9, 8, resist it down. 7, focus on the back of the arm doing the work. 6, nice tall posture, shoulders down away from your ears. For 4, 3, 2, and 1. We're going to hold halfway. Nice, strong, stable upper arm and pulse for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and hold. Come all the way up and slowly resist it back down. Nice work. Okay, from here, I'm going to take that band in the left fist. Right hand is holding the band securely in the small of my back. We're going to ensure that that arm is straight up and down and push up through the heel of the hand. Good. Good work. Let's go. 10, 9, don't let your chin drop here. 8, ooh, I'm shaking already. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hold it there. Pulse it up for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come all the way up and slowly resist it down. Oh, I was shaking. Okay. Great work with those upper body exercises. We're now going to switch our focus to the lower body. We're going to do some standing exercises and then we're going to move down to the mat. As mentioned, this resistance band is optional. So if you don't have it, just work through these moves weightless. You're still going to feel the work in those glutes and thighs. Okay, so from here, we're just going to start off with some simple squats. I'm going to have my feet about shoulder distance apart here. I'm going to sit back, flattening the back, and then lifting up. So I'm lowering, sending the hips out behind. Weight comes into the heels as we lift up. Now, as I lower and lift, I am keeping those thighs and those knees pressing outward. So I'm not letting the tension from the band let those knees knock in. We're keeping a really nice, strong, stable form as we move, lowering and lifting. And if you're losing good form, if your knees are knocking in, you might need to just do a more shallow squat and just focus on building that strength and good form before you get into those low squats. Good. Stick your bum out behind you, lengthen through your spine and drive up through your heels as you lift. Really switching on those back body muscles. Let's go 3, drive up through the heels. For 2, belly to spine as you lift. And final 1. Now we're going to add some knee abductions as we come down into that squat. So we're going to lower and then we're going to pulse the knees out. 1, 2, rolling to the outside edges of the feet. 3, nice flat feet and then lifting up. Good, lower, 1, 2, 3, and push up through the heels. 1, 2, 3, flat feet, drive up through the heels, good. Squeeze those thighs, push out against the resistance of the band. Good, 1, 2, 3, and lift. 1, keep that torso nice and upright, and lift, good. Working those thighs, working those glutes. Inhaling and exhaling. Nice work, 1, 2, 3, and lift. Get nice and low if you can. 2, 3, and lift. Last 2 sets. Really push against the resistance of that band and lift it up and push it out for 2 and 3 and lift it up. Okay, we're gonna move into some step outs here. So we're lowering down into our squat. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So we're stepping from side to side, keeping ourselves low in that squat, keeping the chest lifted. Good. Nice tight core here. Engaged glutes and thighs. Moving from side to side, stepping out against the resistance of the band if you're using it. Amazing work. We've got 3, 2, and 1. Come to center and hold. From here, we're going to do some continuous knee abductions for 20. Good. 6, 7, 8. Get a little lower if you can. Last 10. Lengthen through the spine. 3, 2, and 1. Lift it up. Whoo, shake out those legs a little bit. Take a couple of deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. Amazing work. Roll out those shoulders, and we're gonna move down onto the mat. Okay, so lowering down to the mat, coming down onto the side body, I'm going to lower down and rest my head on my left arm or my left hand. Right leg is on top. We're stacking the hips, stacking the knees and the ankles. We're going to bend at the knees and lift just the lower parts of the leg. From here, we're gonna go into some elevated clams. We're not gonna let that top hip roll back as we open and close. So those hips stay stacked the entire time. Good, opening and closing. Good, opening and closing. Keep those heels pressing together. Keep those shoulders down away from the ears. Let's go. 9, 8, 7. Keep that lower leg really nice and stable. 5, 4, 3. You can do it. 2, and final 1, and lower the legs down. Now from here, I'm going to extend my leg. It's not in line with the torso, it's a little bit further forward on a diagonal. I'm really focusing again on keeping those hips stacked as I lift and lower that leg. Squeeze the side booty, working into the hips and glutes and thighs here as we lift and lower that leg. Good, let's go. 10. Relax the shoulders. 9, 8, 7, even without resistance, this is challenging. Good. Let's go. 5, 4, you're doing amazingly well. 3, 2, and 1. We're gonna hold at the top of the lift and pulse the leg up for 10, 9, slow pulses, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Amazing work. Now we're going to move into an all fours position and we're going to focus on the left glute. So we were just working the right side. Now we're going to focus on the left side. So we want our wrists below our shoulders, knees below the hips. The abs are switched on, the shoulders are nice and broad. We're gonna flex that left foot and lift the knee up, squeezing the glutes, holding for 1, 2, and 3, and lowering down. Lift, squeeze the glutes, 1, 2, 3, and lower. So I really want you to switch on those glutes as you hold at the top of the lift. Squeeze the thighs, work the hamstrings, strengthen the glutes as you push that heel up toward the ceiling and hold. Good, with tension on the muscles the whole time. Lift and lower. And as you lift that knee up, I want you to really engage the core. Amazing work. Holding and lowering. Drive that heel up, squeeze those glutes. Amazing work. Last one, holding here, and then we're gonna pulse up. Little pulses. Good. Amazing work. Keep pulsing, keep pressing that heel up toward the ceiling. Let's go. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower down. Nicely done. Now we're going to repeat that same sequence, but with a pointed toe. So really getting deep into the gluteus maximus here. So nice broad shoulders, engaged core as we lift that big toe up toward the ceiling and hold, then lower. 1, 2, 3, and lower. Squeeze that booty for the entire 3 seconds and then lower down with control. 1, 2, 3, and lower. Keep those hips square at the mat. Try not to lean over to your supporting side. Good. 1, 2, 3, and lower. Keep pointing through those toes, tightening the core, broadening across the shoulders. Keep the gaze down on the mat and that booty engaged. Last one. Lift, 2, 3, hold and pulse. Last 10, 9, 8, 7. Keep that knee elevated. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Relax it down. Sink back into a child's pose here. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth for 3 and 2 and 1. Nicely done. Okay, we're coming over to the other side now. So lowering down onto the side body, supporting your head on your right hand or arm. We're going to bend the knees, ensure that those hips are stacked, knees are stacked, and the inside of the feet are lined up, toes are pointed. We're elevating the lower part of the leg. Now from here, we're going to open and close into those elevated clamshells. 2, 3, good. 4 and 5. Keep pressing those heels together. Last 10. Good. 9. Keep that lower leg really stable. 8. Shoulders are relaxed. 7. Core is nice and tight. 6. 5. 4. You're doing so well. I know these are tough. 3, 2, and 1. Lower down. Extend that top leg out. Make sure that top hip is stacked on top of the lower hip, lowering and lifting that leg. Good. Pointing hard through the toes here so that all the muscles in the leg are engaged as you work those glutes, hips, and thighs. 8, 7, 6, 5, lifting and lowering with control. For 3, 2, and 1. Hold at the top of the lift. Pulse it up for 10, 9, 8, 7. Keep that leg elevated. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower down. Amazing. Now we're coming down into an all fours position. Adjust your band as needed. Hands come down on the mat underneath those shoulders, knees below the hips. Now we're going to flex the right foot and we're going to push that heel up toward the ceiling, holding for 3, 2, and 1, and lower down. Squeeze the bum, push the heel up, 2, and 1, and lower. Good. Drive up through that heel. Tension on the hamstrings, tension on the glutes. Focusing on the gluteus maximus now. We were just working the gluteus medius, that side booty. Good. Really squeeze that bum to get the lift, holding at the top of the lift. Good. Broaden those shoulders, lengthen through the neck. Tighten the core as you breathe out and hold. Good. Last 2 sets. Amazing. Last 1, 3, 2, 1, and hold. Let's start pulsing. Last 10, 9, 8. Stay strong. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower down. Nice work. Now we're going to point the toe. Same sequence again. Broaden across those shoulders. Tighten the core. Lift the belly to the spine. And lower. 1, 2, 3. Lower down. Lift. Squeeze, squeeze, and lower. Bring that big toe up toward the ceiling, keeping those hips square with the mat. Great work. 5 more sets. Lift, hold, hold, and lower. Squeeze, hold, hold, and lower down. Great work. Last 2 sets. Keep pushing the mat away and squeezing the bum. 2, 3, and pulsing. Keep that knee elevated. Last 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Engage the core. 2 and 1. Lower it down. Oh my goodness, those were tough. Great work for sticking with them. Send those hips back. Widen the knees as much as is comfortable. And take a couple deep restorative breaths. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Okay, from here we're going to get into our abdominal work. I'm going to be using my long flat resistance band. So I'm going to remove this booty band and place it off to the side. I'm going to take my long band, find the center of the band, and just place it under my feet. Now from here, I've got my feet about hip distance apart. I've got my heels pressing into the mat. Now you can either hold your band like so in your fists, or you can loop it around if that feels more comfortable and stable for you. Without letting the knees knock in, we want to keep those legs parallel. We're going to push into the resistance of the band and stack the vertebra one on top of the other. Now from here, we're going to lower into a C curve and then scoop the belly in, lengthening through the spine. Lower into a C curve and draw navel tightly in toward the spine to restack the spine. Inhale, we curve back. Exhale, we pull the belly button in toward the spine. So think about using your abs to elevate yourself back up. Getting into that breathing pattern of breathing in through the nose and then engaging the core as you breathe out and lift. Good. Lowering and lifting. Challenging yourself maybe by coming back a little bit further each time and really scooping in your abdominals as you lift. Have a look at those knees. Make sure that they're staying parallel. The legs are nice and stable. They're not sort of wobbling around or splaying out to the side or knocking in. We're creating that nice tight seam running up the middle of the body as we engage the core and lift through the pelvic floor. Good. Let's go 4, 3. You're doing great with your abdominal activation. Keep it up for 2. Give it a lot of energy. And last 1. Nicely done. Now, if you need to, just scoot forward on your mat a little bit so you've got space to roll down. I'm going to bring my feet together now in the band. Legs are squeezing together. You can adjust your resistance as needed. I'm going to straighten the legs and bend. Straighten the legs and bend. So we're inhaling to bend, exhaling to push out through those heels and engaging the abs. If you want a little bit more of a challenge, you're going to lift head, neck, and shoulders up into a crunch. Alternatively, you can lower and then lift head, neck, and shoulders into a crunch as you extend those legs up. The hardest variation is to keep head, neck, and shoulders lifted the whole time. Just pick up a level of challenge that works for you and that doesn't strain your neck. Good. If you want even more of a challenge, you can take those legs out at a lower angle. Just make sure that whatever level of challenge you're working within, you're able to engage that core. If not, take it down a level, lower head, neck, and shoulders. Take the legs up at a higher angle. That makes it easier. And just really focus on building that core strength properly. Good. Let's go 4, 3, drive out through those heels. For 2, and final 1, bring the legs up. Now we're gonna go into some double leg lifts. You have a couple of options here. Easier option is to keep your legs slightly bent. You hinge from the hips and then you lift up. Hinge from the hips, inhale, and exhale to lift up. The hardest variation is with your legs completely straight, lowering down a little bit further and lifting up. So pick your level of challenge. Again, if you want to step it up even further, you can lift head, neck, and shoulders into a crunch with your head resting on top of your shoulders, gaze looking out between your inner thighs as you lift those legs up. The focus should really be on hinging from the hips and using those lower abdominals to lift the legs. We don't want to be swinging here. No swinging. You're moving with control. Again, if you need to take more shallow movement, not lowering your legs quite as much to really feel it in those abs, then do that. Lowering and lifting. We've got 3. 2, use those lower abs to lift the legs. And last one. Whew, almost lost my band there. Okay, lowering down. Great work. Now I'm gonna fold my band in half. And I'm going to bring the arms overhead, palms facing up toward the ceiling. From this position, legs are about hip distance apart. I'm going to bring the legs into tabletop. Now, if that's really strenuous on your low back, bring your knees in a little bit closer towards your chest. We're gonna widen those knees, and then we're gonna bring them back to parallel, bringing the band to the shins. Widen the knees and bring them back to parallel. Good, inhale and exhale, curl and crunch up. Now, as you exhale, I want you to peel up into a crunch. Inhale to lower, widening the knees. Exhale to lift, drawing both sides of the rectus abdominis together. Flattening that low back down on the mat. Challenging yourself by picking those shoulder blades right up off the floor every time you crunch. Notice I'm holding for a split second at the top of the lift, really getting maximum engagement on those abs. Let's go 3 and 2 and final 1. Lower the legs down to the mat, and from here we're going to go into some rollovers. So we're inhaling to peel up, exhaling to fold over and stretch. Deep inhale, and as you exhale, lower down, 1 vertebra at a time. Arms come overhead, peel up, reach and stretch, and fold. If you can't go all the way up from the mat, hold it here, lift and fold over. Hold it here, lift and fold over. But if you have the strength to do so, I want you to try to come up from the floor without any momentum. So just using those upper abs to come up, and then using those lower abs to lower down, 1 bone at a time. Good work. Amazing. Such a good exercise for stretching, lengthening, and strengthening those abs, upper and lower. Good. We've got 2 more. Stretch and lengthen and roll it down. Last one. Lift. Hook your band under your feet and pull those feet back toward your shins. So flexing the feet, feeling the stretch in the calves and in the backs of the legs. Breathing deeply here. Folding down, bringing your chest toward your shins or your thighs. Relaxing your shoulders and regulating the breath for 3 and 2 and 1. Amazing work. Now from here, we're going to work into our obliques. So you can lengthen out your band or you can keep it folded. I'm just going to turn on a bit of an angle so I've got more space beside me to shift from side to side. So I'm going to sit up really nice and tall, and then I'm going to just gently tuck the tailbone so I'm in a C curve position, and then I'm going to take my right fist over to the right side and the left fist over to the left side. So I want you to have a look at those knees. We want to make sure that they're not swaying from side to side. There might be a little bit of movement, but you want to keep that lower body really stationary so you can isolate this work in the waistline as you cross over from side to side, keeping the tension on those abs, keeping the shoulders down away from the ears. Come right up and over with those arms, creating an arc in the air as you do so, getting deep into those obliques, working that waistline for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Back to center, roll it up. Now we're going to lower all the way down to the mat, taking the band overhead, straightening the right leg, and now we're going to cross over, bringing right fist down toward the mat, and then lowering, pulling down as we cross over. Now your aim here is to keep your low back pressing into the mat as you work into those right obliques. Let's go. 10, 9, 8, picking that left shoulder blade up off the floor. 7, 6, keep those arms nice and straight. Let's go. 3, and 2, and final 1. Nicely done. Switching sides. Extending the left leg out long. Deep inhale here, and exhale, bringing left fist down and lowering. Good. Moving at a pace. Keeping that lower body really stationary. Rotating around the rib cage to work into those obliques. Let's go. 9, 8. Really lift that right shoulder blade up off the floor. For 6, 5, you've got this. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nicely done. Bring your knees in towards your chest. You can take your band over your shins and just use the band to pull those knees in toward the chest, stretching out the lower back. Let's take a few breaths here to regulate the breathing pattern, breathing in through the nose and slowly out through the mouth. Inhaling and exhaling. Moving into our cool down here, we're going to stretch out the hamstrings. So I'd like you to place your band. You can use a booty band for this as well, if that's better for you. Place the band around the bottom of that right foot and straighten that right leg as much as possible. You don't want to bend in the knee, so even if your leg is lower down, that's perfectly fine. Pull the leg back to the point where you can really feel that hamstring stretching and lengthening. Holding the band in the fists. Breathing deeply in through the nose and out through the mouth. Take a deep inhale. And as you exhale, I want you to slowly pull that leg in a little bit more, increasing the range of flexibility in that right hamstring. Keep the shoulders relaxed, relax the face here. Stretching and lengthening for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Switch your feet in the band. finding that point where the leg is perfectly straight, but you're also feeling that stretch intensely, not painfully, in the back of the leg. You might find one side is more flexible than the other. That's normal. My left side, my left leg has always been more flexible than my right, so I'm able to kind of get a little bit more range of movement on that side. Breathing into those tight areas, in through the nose and out through the mouth. Take a deep inhale. And as you slowly exhale, draw that leg back toward you a little bit more, increasing the intensity in that stretch. Good. It's a great stretch for building flexibility in those hamstrings. It's also a good stretch to do to alleviate back pain. Tight hamstrings can lead to sore back. For 3, 2, and 1. We're going to release the band now. I'm going to place it off to the side, crossing the right leg over the left and just hugging that left knee in toward the chest to stretch out the right glutes. For 10, 9, 8, hug it in nice and close. 3, 2, and 1. Switch sides. Hugging that right knee in toward the chest, stretching out the left glutes. Breathing deeply. Hugging it in for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Take your hands behind your thighs. Roll yourself up into a seated position. I'm going to take hold of my band again. And I'm just going to take the band overhead, palms facing forward, and just lean over to that right side, feeling the stretch into the side body and the arms, into that armpit, and into those shoulders. Good. Restack the spine. And take it over to the other side. Bending to the side. Try not to let that bum cheek come up off the floor. Keep the hips evenly weighted here. For 3, 2, and 1. Recenter. And from here, we're just going to circle out the arms, lengthening and breathing for 3, and 2, and 1. Roll out the shoulders for 3, and 2, and 1. Amazing work. I hope you enjoyed that resistance band routine. Thank you for all your hard work and for joining me. I look forward to hearing your comments and feedback and working out with you again very soon. Thank you. See you soon. Bye, guys.